Howdy, y'all, from Fort Worth, Texas. CP59 coming to you from Texas. Yes, I'm back in Texas. Been here for about 2 weeks, I guess. Back here. In this video, I'm going to tell you about everything I've learned over the last month or so. So, put on the seatbelts. It might be a little longer than usual, but part of that learning was I had an aha moment when I was listening to somebody who's much more experienced with YouTube than I am. And they said, don't worry so much about your video time, that you need to make them long enough to say what needs to be said, but as short as possible. So when you talk slow and you have a southern twang, maybe they're a little bit longer than somebody from the north that talks really fast and you can't really hear what they say. But let's get on with it. First of all, thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you to the commenters. Oh, I can't tell you how much y'all mean to me. Everybody. And that things are on the grow, so that's very good. We're going to continue to grow. I'm going to try to get that bump out of my shoulders. Let's back up to the birthday trip, which you may or may not have seen those videos yet, but I went to Branson for 2 weeks for my 56th birthday. 56, 57, 56 birthday. And I kind of got off my way of eating. But at the end of that period, I signed up for a course by Dr. Eric Westman and his co-author of End Your Carb Confusion, Amy Berger, who is a certified nutrition scientist or something like that. Very smart lady when it comes to the keto carnivore way of eating. Well, probably keto, because I don't think she's carnivore. And if you don't know the difference, keto is a form of low carb healthy fat where you allow some carbs from vegetables. Carnivore is a subset of that where you only eat animal products, so you're almost at the lowest carb intake you could be. And you still get a few. Dr. Westman's program wants you under 20. The other program I've been in since January called Virta, V-I-R-T-A Health. And I've got at least 4 videos that break down the opening of the Virta Health starter kit. Their recommendation is you stay under 30 grams of carbs per day, at least the first month or two. And that's one thing I have really learned, is that everybody is different. Everybody doesn't necessarily need that high of a carb restriction. It really depends on how insulin resistant your body was prior to realizing it. We've all done damage over the years, and it's going to take some years to correct it. So, yes, I'm still a little bit more pudgy than I want to be, and I'm a little more water weighted than I was when I left on the trip, because I have been eating more carbs. And I think that is a lot of people's goal, is to be able to add more carbs in once they fix themselves, air quotes there around fix. Unfortunately, I have learned that it's almost like remission with cancer. You don't really cure insulin resistance, you just get it under control. Therefore, if you go back to what you were doing when you had it, it will come back with the same fury as it had before. Of course, you are getting healthier throughout the time, so it may not come back with quite the same fury, but if carbs are the problem and you cut them out and you get better, then when you add them back in, they're going to still be the problem, because your DNA is set up to remember things for probably millions of years. I mean, our DNA has not changed a whole lot in the course of human history. So I think it thinks back all the way to our primal ancestors, when all they could do was hunt or gather, if in season. And that's a good distinction we need to know about: gather in season. Yes, fruits are okay to eat if you eat them locally grown, heirloom quality, which means they haven't been modified, they haven't been injected with pesticides to keep the bugs away from the inside out. And they're what our ancestors may have found 2,000 years ago walking across the Midwest. I don't think there were many fruit trees naturally growing in the Midwest thousands of years ago. But generally what we ate was meat. We would go out and kill a big animal, or we would eat what I found out was we would eat the remains of a natural kill, like I guess we don't have lions and tigers in the U.S., but in the African savanna, if a lion would kill something, it usually eats the fattiest parts, the liver, the stomach, the organs. And then all this meat would be left for the next group to come along, which might be the hyenas, which might be the humans. Whoever could scare off the other group got to eat whatever was left. And if you killed it yourself, you got the liver, you got the brain, you got the bone marrow. And I think our DNA remembers back to that time when that was our primary source of nutrition. So when we feed ourselves that primary source of nutrition, our bodies go back to our more historic state. And I know most of us would like our historic state to be our weight of about 20 or 30 years ago. And I don't know that I'll ever get down quite that low, but I do at least want to get into the normal range on the BMI chart. So I'm at approximately 30 pounds heavier than that at the moment, but that's a whole lot better than being almost 80 pounds over when I started this journey 2 years ago. I did gain a little bit of weight on my trip when I added more carbs in, but it was my birthday, so why not? It's not the end of the world to go back to your way of eating for 1 or 2 days, but I will warn you on this. It has taken me 2 weeks, or 3 weeks actually, since I've gotten home, and I still am not back on the downward decline that I was on when I left. So we don't call it cheating in this community, we call it adding carbs back in. But adding carbs back in can derail your progress for, I'm going to say, a month, because it's been a month since I really went off the tracks. And even though I'm eating back on the tracks now, the progress isn't as stellar as it was at that point in time. Okay, enough on that track. Dr. Westman's Keto Made Simple course, I think it came to an end yesterday. I think I've said in some other videos how his approach is a little bit different than Virta, so I tried his approach, but the last week I kind of started gearing back more towards Virta's because I wasn't having any great success on Dr. Westman's plan. Was that because I was so off track on the trip, or was it because I was adding more protein than Virta allowed and not adding the fat? I can't tell you, but I am getting back closer and closer to Virta's plan every day, with a few exceptions. I did learn about sugar-free Jell-O and the whipping cream in the can, the squirt, you squirt it out on Jell-O, cake, pudding, whatever. That's very low carb and has very little sugar in it. So that might be part of the reason. And then we can also throw in, while I was in Branson, I was told to stop walking basically for exercise because of the situation I had happening in my head. I am making progress on that. Neurologists are incredibly difficult to get into. The one at my local doctor/hospital system couldn't get me in till August the 23rd. So I looked for some other ones, and Dr. Mabry has sent at least 2 referrals, and they can't quite seem to find it. But they said they could get me in mid-June. But and I'm going to stick with the fact that exercise is not that important to weight loss. But since I was doing mild exercise, and now I'm basically only walking when necessary, to get to the car, to walk around the grocery store, to run back and forth at work and get the paperwork I need to get, it could have, I'm saying it could, not that it did, could have an effect. I have another, month here before I can get in to see a doctor to clear me for exercise, so I will probably stay on a low exercise regime for the next few weeks, and then we can see if I do actually start gaining my weight back now that I'm tightening down back to the Virta recommendations. That's VIRTA, not VE, blah, blah, blah. VIRTA. And you can watch any of the videos by Dr. Sarah Halberg. Halberg. I think that's HALBERG. I may link one in the show notes or description, whatever they call it now. I know people call them show notes, but we're not really a show, we're a video. So I'll have to come up description, the video description. I'll try to put some of Virta's products in the video description, because Dr. Westman has been doing this over 20 years. Dr. Halberg, I think Virta is about to release their 3-year study. So maybe not quite as many participants as Dr. Westman has had over 20 years, but very good science. Anyway, so if you're into the science, that's some good info. But the biggest thing I'm excited about is I kind of did overlapping courses. So here I am in 3 things at the same time. No wonder I never have time to get any videos done. But I'm in the Virta since January. I was in Dr. Westman's until Friday. Last Tuesday, I think it was, I got in a YouTube Impact Challenge, I think is what it was called. It was a free course offered by one of the most influential YouTube influencers with millions and millions of subscribers, and probably makes $1 million a year. He hasn't told us what he makes a year, other than 6 or 7 figures, but you got to do the math to figure that out. And he offered a free course for a week, kind of intense. That's where I got the time of your video doesn't matter, as long you take as long as you need, but keep it as short as you can. So I'm going to try to do that, because he can really talk. I mean, some of these courses or these sessions are 3 hours, and 2 days they did 2 sessions, and here I'm trying to go to work, I'm trying to run my life, I'm trying to rearrange this apartment so I have kind of sort of a studio. You may like this new setup. I keep moving things around, experimenting. This whole past month and a half has been a big experiment in my life, and I like the outcome, I like where it's going, and oh my goodness, the future is so exciting at the moment. I don't know that I've been able to say that in the past 6 years and mean it, but that program is wrapping up today. I think there's another session today, and unfortunately I'm having to catch up on them when I'm doing something else. I don't have 6 hours a day I can sit down and just listen to them. Half of it almost is marketing their other products, and half of it is actually tips. So I have learned tips about lighting, audio, how to put together a video. But here again, you're going to see some vast improvements in the coming weeks and months. So thank you for being along for the ride. Thank you for sharing my videos on your Facebook, Instagram. Email people. Just send the link, or send the link to my channel maybe, because this thing is about to take off, and y'all are the reason. If I hadn't had these 48 subscribers now for almost 6 months, well, I haven't had them for almost 6 months, but it's taken me 6 months to get 48 subscribers. 6 months in 1 week, or 1 week will be my 6-month anniversary of posting the first video. So for those of you charter members, I'm going to say everybody under 100 subscribers is my charter member, and there will be rewards for you in the future. I am what I didn't say yet was that I did buy one of the promotional training courses from this guru. I did it at about 12:15 this morning, May, what is today, 22nd, 2021. So this is a day that will live in infamy, because it's called the Video Ranking Academy. It's supposed to shoot me to 1,000 subscribers and above with the least amount of time if I go all in. So that's my exciting announcement for today, is I am all in on YouTube now. I kind of have piddled with it for 6 months, but I am getting serious about it, because this young man has opened my eyes to the potential of this revenue stream. And the good thing is it doesn't really cost my viewers anything to help me develop a revenue stream. It costs me a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of knowledge, but it doesn't cost you anything except watching a few commercials, or ads they call them, that will eventually pop up once I get a big enough following. So apologies in advance for the ads. There's always a skip ad button, or they end in about 3 or 4 seconds, so they're not as long as TV commercials. But those ads will pay me a retirement salary, and that is the whole reason I started this channel instead of getting a real estate license, was to have an income in retirement. And oh boy, retirement's looking closer and closer every day, and it is getting closer and closer every day. Whether this channel takes off or it doesn't, I have a plan already in place. It may get modified if I do really well here, if I have a video go viral or something like that. But my other aha moment was when this guy who's been doing YouTube for 10 years showed us some of the videos he did 8 and 10 years ago, and how much money he is still making off of them each month. I think it was $166 a month. Well, that's going to be about half of my retirement paycheck through the city of Fort Worth if I only stay 5 years, which is kind of what my plan is. And that's just one of his hundreds of videos. He's in a different niche or however you say it than I am. But I don't know why my videos won't have the same results. I learned a long time ago that following in somebody's footsteps is easier than making your own mistakes. But the reason I brought up his salary or his income is he made a comment which really I had not thought about in the past. I bought real estate in the past because I knew it would grow in value over time. I had never thought about my videos growing in value over time, but I had been in multi-level marketing, direct marketing, whatever you want to call it. I've been in 3 or 4 different companies and have never really had the resources to make that a lifelong income. So I understand, it did teach me, and I understand the concept of residual income, which means you do the work once and it pays you some small amount the rest of your life. And that's what YouTube has the potential to do. I have the potential to do the work, clamp down now, do the work, get videos up, and if I get a certain amount of, that's a secret number. There's never a known number of what is enough. So I'll probably keep doing this the rest of my life. My actual emphasis may change a little bit as I find other ways to become healthier than just through diet. I can see transitioning to videos about some of the state national parks I go to as my income goes up and my job responsibilities go down, and then y'all will get views of clean air or fresh air, clean water, open spaces, wildlife, different cities, different countries, different states, as I have the resources to travel around the world and keep my camera with me. And as I also get, I have studio lighting. I haven't taken the dive to pull that out of the closet yet, but as of today, all the resources of my photography company are now committed to making these videos as good as possible. So that is a pretty intensive course I signed up for this morning. So now I have to balance how much time I put into learning and how much time I put into sharing. And of course, y'all can't see my hands, they're below the camera, but I'm weighing out the options like a scale. So I do plan to get 2 to 3 videos a week up as I learn how to do it. Another aha moment was you only need to get 1% better every video. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, tell me in the comments if you think this one might be 1% better than the last one. Of course, the last one was kind of just a 2-minute assignment from the course. So if you are watching me closely, you kind of knew I was already taking a YouTube influencer, designer, creator, I guess is the right word, challenge course to learn how to improve so I can benefit y'all more and you don't get bored watching me. Miss Carol, you're wonderful. You always tell me I could talk as long as I want, that I'm interesting to watch, and that really boosts my spirits. Thank you for that. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of numbers update in this video, other than I am diligently working behind the scenes to get healthier. And healthy in this particular sentence is the long-term health. I think it is in my best interest to have an additional stream of income, doing something I love to do, that I can do the rest of my life, that I can share information with you, share knowledge. Like I mentioned earlier, I've had mentors most of my life. I can maybe be your virtual mentor in the health field if you're into having a mentor. And there's even the possibility that in the future there might be some meetups or get-togethers or retreats for the weekends. I really thought of the place I went to in Branson. It's a huge condo at a big resort where everybody could rent their own condos if they wanted, that we might be able to have meetups at a place like that in the future. And that's why I actually stopped at a retreat center in Arkansas and was disappointed to find that it was up for sale, so it may not exist by the time my following is long enough to need that much space. So maybe next year we'll just do a small one if the borders reopen and we don't have to do everything virtual. But I do have plans, I do have hope now, I do have a future, and this channel is that future, or at least something on YouTube is that future. I think it will be this channel, even though the channel, like myself, will be changing over time. So thank you again so much for being with me. If you haven't already subscribed, I would greatly appreciate you hitting the subscription button, which I think if you're not on a phone is probably over here. It's a little red, white, and blue symbol. It'll take you to the subscribe link. Then there's a bell you can hit to be notified so you can watch the videos almost as soon as they come out. I asked in the last video if you'd put in the comments what time of day or what day of the week is best for you. You know, I'm kind of leaning towards evening on the East Coast of the USA for the release time. So that would be Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time. About the time people would get home from work, if they work a 9 to 5, unlike me. So maybe 5:30, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday. I was going to say Friday, but Friday's not a good day to release videos, so maybe Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Let's go with that. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Saturday could be earlier because people are off work, generally, except for me. My weekend is Sunday, Monday. But thanks again. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate every one of the new ones that are coming on in the next week or two. And I really want your feedback as to topics you'd like me to discuss. I'll do the research if I don't know what it is. And I will combine it into hopefully easily understandable, because I want this to benefit you. It's not just about me getting a following and becoming a guru. It's about that information I can impart into you from the experiences I've had, so you don't have to have a near-death experience, so you start to get healthy. And I know there's a lot of healthier people out there than me, but there's also a lot unhealthy people. You know, I'm trying to do my part to change the obesity epidemic in the Western world that's also getting into the Eastern world, and maybe put a little dent in that everything's bigger than Texas saying. Of course, I was in Missouri for 2 weeks, and we ain't got nothing on most of the world as far as the obesity epidemic goes. There are a lot of big people in Texas. There are a lot of big people all over America. There are a lot of big people all over the Western and becoming Eastern world. So we all need to figure out, and that's going to be one of my videos, how to do keto simple. That's coming up soon. And there'll be a whole lot more. So I can't wait to share it with you. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Oops, I hit the screen. Thanks. Bye-bye. God bless.